All right. Having technical difficulties. I'm not sure why that happens sometimes, but welcome to another edition of Woman Crush Wednesday. Erin Coscarelli with you. Today we have a rad, awesome guest, Kayla Durden from The Ultimate Surfer, jumping on and chatting with us to talk all things Ultimate Surfer, her experience on the huge network show for ABC. Here she is. Let's get her on. We finished episodes 5 and 6 this week. We have 2 more episodes to go. So I'm really excited. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
I don't know. My phone's like, you've done enough lives for today.
Well, earlier we were talking, my service was like in and out. I'm like on the side of the road. I was like, do not go out. It's not our day. It's okay.
I know. Technology and me, it's a running joke, I think. I'm always being played. But Kayla Durden, it's so good to see you. I saw you earlier today for the Green Room after show. You're in a different location. How are you doing?
I'm good. It's been like a whirlwind of a week because I usually don't stay up this late. And then I'm up late for the show and then I had to travel today. So we've kind of been like all over the map, but we're good. It's been a really fun week.
Yeah, has it been? Well, and I want to talk all things about you as an individual. I want to talk about you on the show. Your life looks so incredible right now. You're flying everywhere. You're doing all kinds of cool, fun things. And then I want to talk about you as a basketball coach, because I mentor young women and I find it is so fulfilling and rewarding sharing some of my experiences. So we've got a lot to get to, and I don't have a whole lot of time with you. I only have now 15 minutes because technology didn't want to work with me today.
I talk fast. It's okay.
Okay, good. Well, first and foremost, my first question for you is let's just talk about Kayla the surfer. You started surfing at 5?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was on a family vacation with my dad. And then my older brother surfed, and everything he did, I was like, well, I have to do that. So watching my brother surf, I was like, take me out. I ended up going out that day on a vacation and pretty much have surfed every day since.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like a lot of the competitors on The Ultimate Surfer started around that age. Like, you kind of had to get started when you were like a little guy, right?
Well, it's like all sports now. You know, if you're not already having a coach by 11 or 12, you're already behind. And I think surfing now is even getting younger and younger, where honestly, I would have been tapped out because I really didn't get into it until I was like 14. So I would have been a little too old for it now.
They're surfing before they're actually even walking.
Oh my gosh. They just throw them in there.
Just throw them in there. Well, okay, so I want you to describe the surf ranch, because for so many people, it's kind of like this mystery. I think Joe described it, was it last night, as the 8th wonder of the world.
I love that line. I love that line when he said it.
Yeah. What is, if you could describe the surf ranch? I'm sure a lot of people ask about it. How would you describe it?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's literally like a dream come true if you're a surfer. I mean, you roll up to this wave, there's no one around, you're guaranteed waves, it's breaking for a minute and a half. You know exactly what it's going to do. So for me, I never thought I'd get to go, and I've said this a couple times, but I never thought I'd get invited to go, just because, I mean, it's so prestigious. If you're on tour, you really don't have a chance, or unless, you know, someone's paying your way to go, you're never going to surf it. So for me, it was like this dreamland that I got to surf, and it really is. I mean, it's like one of those wonders of the world that most people will never get to experience, and I got to live there. So I'll keep some of those secrets to myself, so maybe I'll get invited back or something.
That's awesome. No, and we all got to live there. We were all in trailers. You guys were in Airstreams. It was like so surreal. Obviously, I wasn't in the water like you guys, but it felt like summer camp a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Well, I think we talked about too, like how hard it was to leave. Like we all got so close, and it's almost like I've had all my friends together for filming, and I see you guys every day, and all of a sudden it's like, all right, bye, go home. Yeah. So it was a really hard experience to leave too.
Girlfriend, when I tell you I was journaling every day I was there, because I wanted to make sure I described what this moment was like, because it was so, for me as a broadcaster, I mean, for you as a surfer, it felt the same. Like, it was so incredible getting to do what I love. Like, I love getting to know your story and storytelling and telling the world of the culture and the lifestyle of what surfers really go through. And it was interesting because Alejandro Moreta was a surfer competing on The Ultimate Surfer, who was just recently knocked off, and he said it wasn't until he was on this platform that his mom actually had a better sense of understanding what really goes into this crazy world, this crazy sport.
that was so cute too. Because
Yes.
I know in his home package, he talked about how his parents were never really that on board with his surfing or something like that. So,
Right.
so cool to see them kind of come around and be like, look what he's done.
Yeah.
And he's one of, I
Yeah.
mean, I adore him. So I'm so happy for him too. Yeah, that was crazy. He makes me so emotional when he talks. He's awesome.
And that's why I'm getting goosebumps. That's why he was a fan favorite, was because much like you wore your emotions on your sleeve and you were
Hmm.
really open and transparent about what you were going through. You felt like you were an underdog, and then you were able to get back into it with the wild card challenge. So we got to see Kayla twice. My question for you is, what did you learn new about yourself after having this experience? Like, did you learn something new? Did you learn something new about yourself?
It's funny because I wish I would have journaled, and I kind of like what you did. I wish I would have done that because I think what's so wild is I said this to someone the other day when I went on the show. Originally, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go in and win this thing, and then I get to the show and I see everybody, and I kind of like sank into myself, and I was like, oh, maybe I'm just like lucky to be here, and I was like a spectator of my own show, I was like my own storyline. I was watching it, and then when I felt this like, oh, I can kind of come back, it's like I was like, hey, instead of watching this thing, I'm gonna like get involved. And I think it was that of just like the confidence of not only am I I'm not only am I here, I'm deserving to be here. And it was
Mm.
this newfound like shift for me where I think I'd always felt like, oh, I never had the opportunities. And I had all these like woe is me stories. And I think for the first time I was like, the only one who controls this is me. And I kind of shifted that mindset that night. And I mean, that'll go down as my favorite event ever, best competitive experience, because I feel like I showed up when I had to. But I mean, going outside of surfing as like a confidence and like in myself and being like, just confident in who I am, like that took me to a new place.
Well, and that's so interesting that you share with us. First of all, thank you for being so transparent and
Yeah.
candid about your experience, because there are so many moments where we can be the spectator or we can be the engager. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and it's so interesting because you saying that to me now makes sense. I felt like the first half of Kayla was spectator Kayla, maybe like a little. Remember we were talking about it, like you were afraid to maybe really get in.
Yeah. I was like,
And then when
I
you
hope, maybe. Yeah.
and then when you came back, we saw a different version of you. We saw
Hmm.
like this, like the shackles came off. You were like gunning for it. You were going for it. And that's so interesting that just in that 4 week experience, 3 week experience when we were up there, you noticed yourself go, I need to shift this attitude and go,
Yeah.
wait a second, I'm not thankful to be here. Or I don't feel lucky to be here. They're lucky to have me in
And
a
I'm
way.
here. It was
Yeah.
that thing of, they picked me for a reason. I was like, and I'm going to make sure everyone knows why. That was where I came from because I
Yeah.
wasn't going to go down not swinging again. Because I feel like the first time I lost, it was kind of, I got beat. And then no, really, it's like I kind of let myself get beat. And then, the second time I lost, I mean, I just got beat. I mean, Brianna's an insane surfer. And like, I can go down losing to a really good surfer, but I can't go down beating myself.
Yeah.
And that's, I left that show. I even texted Brianna last night. I was like, if I'm going down, I'm so glad it's to you. And like,
Yeah.
that's the way I'm like willing to go out, and I'm very happy with how my kind of story ended on there.
And we saw that, and that's Brianna's on. Say hi,
Hey,
Brianna.
girl.
Hi,
You realize I'm
girlfriend. How
talking
you
about
doing?
you.
And look, the show it was so hard even when Joe and I were in the booth saying goodbye every episode, because you all deserved to be there, and it was kind of like, Luke Davis, like so many people thought he was going to go all the way to
I
the
know.
end and then drops off early. It was hard. It was challenging.
And that's what's so wild is, I mean, it was as much as it was a physical and talent game, it was all mental too. And you'll talk to anyone out there, like mentally, we were strained every day.
Yeah.
You kind of know what's going on. You're by yourself in these surf offs. I mean, like the things you're thinking and that pull before the wave comes and you're waiting 30 seconds for it to come. It's like, it's not a good
Yeah.
place to be. So,
Oh.
I mean, the mental strength of everyone now is unreal.
Well, and Joe describes this experience that, like, when he rides, I think the first wave, the surf range is almost like an in arena experience, which is so
Yeah.
different than the ocean. The ocean is vast and people are on the shore. This, like, you can see every angle and spotlight, and you feel so much pressure and intensity in that moment. And I mean, like, I'm not even on your guys' level, but I was so nervous just watching you guys deal with this. And I think like you hear a button or there's some like, oh no,
Oh,
it's the hydrofoil like going into motion and you hear it like a roller coaster, like tuk, 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 tuk.
well,
And
then it
then,
just like rises and you're like, oh gosh, here we go.
yeah, yeah,
But and I
it,
would compare it to, I mean, like for you, like working in NFL, I mean, like you see that stadium all the time, and it's like the first time surfing's been on that platform. And I think it's really, really cool to see it like this shift into like it's a real sport, and you know, you have fans there and you have lights, and it really what it could be someday.
yeah. You know, you're so, what I loved about you too, just like Ale, you're so humble, you're super modest. Like you're just the energy when I met you for the first time, I just fell in love with you and I just rooted for you right away. I want to ask you, like, has your life changed or how has your life changed? But I feel like you're obviously still Kayla, but
Yeah.
how has your life changed in any way? Has it changed? Some more opportunities maybe coming up for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think I during the show, like I said, I learned a lot about myself, kind of some things I wanted that I didn't want, and I came home and like I think everyone would tell you a lot of people made some pretty big life changes coming home, just because it's like you're a month away, you're reflecting and you're seeing all these things, and I kind of saw some things I wanted, and like when I came home, I put a lot more focus into like definitely still competing, and I definitely want to compete more. And it actually, when I came home, it took me a little bit to want to surf again. I needed to like calm down and like
Really?
I was like, I need to like get away from this for a second. And then once I kind of rallied back, I started to get really back into surfing all the time. But I think I needed to decompress from it all.
Yeah.
And then actually, I think when I came home, I want to say I went right back into basketball season. Like basketball started like a week after, so I definitely had no time to really settle in, which is probably the best thing for me actually. But I'd say opportunities are coming. I'm really excited with where this can go, and I definitely think there's a big surfing event coming up in Jacksonville, like a big qualifying event. So kind of start putting my hat back in the ring in that, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, and you have to let us know your journey. You were so much fun to watch.
Thank
We are
you.
here with Kayla Durden. She was one of the competitors, one of the surfers on The Ultimate Surfer, which you can watch the last two episodes coming up Monday, Tuesday, 10, 9 Central. I cannot wait. The last two episodes, you haven't seen them yet, but they are remarkable. They are
They're gonna be
intense.
so good.
They give the audience exactly what you want. A lot of good meat, a lot of good juice. But I only have 5 more minutes with you, and of course, time flies when you're having fun. I love you
It's
so
right.
much. You're a basketball coach. Like that was the other really cool element of you is much like what I do. I love to mentor and help young women enter into my industry, broadcast, which is hard, or at least has its moments of challenging struggles, if you will. I've certainly had a few. Why do you love coaching high school basketball? And it's basketball women, right?
Women's basketball, yeah.
Yeah. Why do you love that job?
I think, like for me, sports did so many good things. And I think it's like this whole cliche. Like I learned a lot of life lessons, playing basketball and playing sports, like being a good teammate. And, because I played other sports besides surfing. I was always playing basketball in high school and I had, good teammates and great coaches. And like the things I remember most are from those coaches. And then once again, my brother coached basketball. I had a chance to coach and kind of built my way up into running my own program in Jacksonville. But I think just the fact that like I get to touch so many lives in that moment, and like no, not always perfect, and I'm probably meaner than I should be, and I yell and I get competitive too. But like I think to be, like I said, to be a mentor and like to, and I even like the show for me was like to show these girls like if you want something, go do it and like pursue it. And I feel like I stayed very true to myself. And I think to come home and like we had practice yesterday morning and like seeing them in practice, they all love the show. And like I think just to kind of I don't think I ever lost myself in the show. And that was my whole reason for going was like I'm staying true to myself, I'm pursuing my goals. And then, to see them at practice and they're like, oh, we love the show. And they're making fun of me and stuff too. But they loved it. And I don't know. Like I said, I think getting to mentor and like be that role model as much as I can is a really cool platform. And it's a scary one, but it's a good one.
And I think you're taking full advantage of your platform in the way you should, and I love that. I love the fact that for you, this isn't just an opportunity to fulfill Kayla's dream, but to show other women
Yeah.
that if you're passionate about something, there are opportunities to be fearless and go after your dreams. What's holding you back? Because I know for me, I suffer from some anxiety. I've talked about it very publicly. And so what happens is like I almost procrastinate a little bit because I have that fear of failure that I always thought in my head was because I was lazy. I'm like, oh, I'm lazy. Like I don't, no, it's deeper than that actually.
It's like self-sabotage. Like you don't even let yourself get there.
Right. And it's exactly. And it's the same thing for you, that if you use your platform in a way to inspire and motivate other women, that if I can do it, for sure you can do it in some other type of capacity. Maybe we're not competing on a network surf show, but you were someone that I think the audience really loved because you were so passionate and wanting to commit to winning, to achieving something like that. And win or lose, it didn't matter. You took with yourself, you took with you the lessons in it to help inspire and motivate other young women. And I love that.
Well, I think there's something too in like being able to fail. Like, I mean, that first episode, it took me a bit to get over it, but like, I mean, even like in a loss, it's kind of like, how are you going to respond? And I think to rally back from that spot and like to even have that like desire to keep competing, even in like the comeback was, I didn't even know I had that in me, if I'm being honest. I was kind of like, I don't know, I think I'm going to kind of buckle and be done, and still no one thinks I'm going to make it. So I think once again, this goes so far beyond a TV show. It goes more into, like I said, like life lessons. And like, if anyone comes out of that, whatever you're in, and they're like, oh my gosh, like, you know, you can be a certain way in failure and then you can come out of it. And even that, I failed again. I mean, I lost again, but like, there's things I'm taking from it. And I don't know, if anyone gets inspired by that, then I did my job and I really enjoyed doing it. So.
Oh yeah, you definitely inspired a ton of people. You inspire me. And I'm sad that you're gone. I mean, I was going to ask you, what do you miss the most about not being there? But I already think I know the answer. It was the people the friends and the family that you met and made.
It's just, I mean, even like, I think I said this to you one time, it's the circle. I mean, like getting to talk to you, like, and it never in our lives, I think, would we have crossed paths if it wasn't for the show. And, you know, Joe Chappelle and Jesse Palmer, it's like, it's so cool. And like, this is the stuff I love. And like, you know, you're so great at what you do. And like, I love what you do. I love the sports too. So I kind of just get to be in this world I was never in before. So yeah, I mean, this is stuff I'll never forget. And I don't think anyone of us will actually.
Yeah. Well, someone tuning in says, Isuke 21, will there be another season? I don't want it to end. I don't either.
We hope so. Everyone's got to keep watching.
I hope so too. I hope so too. Kayla, seriously, thank you for taking the time. I know you are so busy this week, but we so appreciate just getting to learn a little bit more about you and what motivates you. And you're just inspiring in so many ways. So keep doing what you do, girl. And I support you. I love you. And hopefully I get to see you again soon. I miss you.
We're going to link up. I'm coming to see you.
Yeah, you're coming to
Thanks
LA.
for having me. I'm coming. All right,
or
love
Vegas.
You.
Okay, baby.
Ooh, we'll do either. I'll come to a River game. Done.
Okay, yes. All right. I love you so much. I will see you soon, Kayla. Take care. Thank you again.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Bye, girl.